Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Karen at Camp Boggy Creek, and my favorite thing to do in all the world is take care of kids, but my second favorite thing to do is make things. And I thought we'd do some crafts this afternoon just to show you what I like to make. Mostly what I like to make is a mess. So I'm really good at that, and I can show you exactly how to make a mess. But the first thing we're going to do is some candles that are just really, really cool, because trying to get candles that are sort of exclusively made or personalized or things like that are really expensive. These are not. They're very, very easy to make, and you can personalize it with anything you can print on tissue. So these are some samples of what I have, and I've made plenty more than that, but they take all of about 2 minutes to make, and they are so simple. So what I'll show you is exactly what you need to get started. Anything you can print, you can put on a candle, basically. What I usually do is print things off on the computer, and I use a piece of cardstock paper and cover it with tissue paper. Well, you can see that tissue paper not on there, but it's just plain old wrapping tissue paper like you wrap presents with or wrap a shirt up with. And you stick it in the computer and pull out your image, and this is what it comes out like on the paper. And you just roughly cut it out. You don't even need to have perfect margins or perfect anything, because these will disappear into the candle. You can also make it an image with a paper napkin. These come in 3-ply, and what you do is you just peel off the top layer of the napkin, so you just have 1 ply to put on there. That's what this is made from. This was a cocktail napkin of a coastal town in Maine that I happen to like a lot, and I just put that on a candle. This was for a church dinner that I made, one for each person at the table, and it was so easy. This was our camp logo, and this was what I make for our medical volunteers, and it's very, very popular to make. You need to do candles. I usually do a battery-operated candle that you don't have to light, or you can't light. You can certainly do them on lighted candles if you want to, and do that, but then you have the problem with a lit candle that will melt down into your image, and you can't use it forever. So I prefer the battery-operated ones. I get mine from Amazon. You can get them at the dollar store. Most of my craft material comes from the dollar store, but usually I buy these from Amazon. And you'll need to get an image printed out of some kind and a candle. You need a white candle or an ivory-colored candle. I have done things like make pink snowmen when I try to use a red candle. That doesn't work. And what you'll need to do is take your image, put it on the candle, and you take a heat gun. This is my heat gun I got from Amazon for $7. And you have to watch it. It will burn your hand, so you have to be very careful with these. Don't let kids play with it, because these things will peel paint. That's how strong and hot they get. So we need to plug this little guy in. And just let it sit for a minute to get hot. You'll need a piece of wax paper, just a little bit bigger than the image. You put your image against the candle. Make sure it's kind of centered the right way and sort of upright. Wrap the wax paper around it so it's smooth. Hold the paper behind the candle. Now you might want to try using gloves to do that. If your fingers are sensitive, I don't like to use the gloves because it's clumsy, and I can't seem to get a good grasp of it. But then you turn on your heat gun, just keep holding it. The trick to this is to keep the heat gun far enough away that you're melting the wax paper and not the candle. If you get excited or want to hurry this process up and you put it up against it, it will melt the candle and make the candle bumpy. So you want to hold it at least 6 inches away and just be patient. And in a very few minutes, that's going to start to melt. I can see it starting already. It changes color, so you'll be able to see it perfectly when the time comes. But just don't get excited and put that up too close. I would suggest, there is a learning curve with this. It does take a little bit of practice to do it. I would get some candles from the dollar store. You can certainly use regular candles and practice that way, rather than practicing with your more expensive battery-operated ones. You can use any size candle. There it goes. You can see it changing color. And that's when I tend to get too close to the candle. And I haven't burned my fingers yet. I've made candles using pictures of friends' dogs and put it on the candle. You use these for Christmas presents. They make wonderful Christmas presents. I did a set of them with a friend's grandchildren on them. And that looks like it is very nicely done. I'll turn off the heat gun. And you don't have to wait. You just take your paper, pull it off, and you have a very smooth candle, totally embedded in there. It looks like it was embedded by a machine, or however they embed them in stores when they sell them for $25. And this one is a $1 candle, maybe $4 for the candle, and it really comes out beautifully. There's not a bump in the candle. It's perfect. And that's how you make a candle.